Episode 9 of Spooktober. Alien X Predator Smut by Sarcastic Stories 1. The Predator landing ship arrived on Earth. It was 1000 BC, and they had recently landed in the Temple of Hatshepsut in Egypt. The Predators, also known as the Juta, were worshipped as gods by early human civilizations. These civilizations were taught how to build these temples in order to appease who they saw gods. The Yucha, otherwise known as the Predators, constructed the building of these temples in order to hunt their most commonly hunted prey, also known as the xenomorphs. These xenomorphs were very important to Yucha culture, as killing them would increase your rank, and killing a whole tribe will bring great honor to your clan. We follow a predator named Carl, who just recently killed his first xenomorph, making him a blooded predator. He quickly stalked the pyramid, as the human sacrifice used already created the xenomorph that he was hunting. The xenomorph said as he entered the pyramid. It was dusk, and he could already hear the sounds of the xenomorph. Carl turned around quickly, preparing his spear. He'd killed many xenomorphs in his lifetime, and he was ready to kill another one. Just then, the xenomorph popped out and screamed. Predator quickly grabbed his spear and knocked the xenomorph onto his back. But before quickly stabbing and killing the first xenomorph, Carl the Predator stopped. He looked silently at the xenomorph and all of a suddenly felt aroused. Maybe this one time Carl will enjoy himself before killing the xenomorph and collecting its head as a trophy. Carl quickly restrained the xenomorph and put it onto its back. The xenomorph protested loudly. The predator responded. As he began to unbutton his armor, specifically the lower areas of his armor, out popped his 8-inch alien cock as he adjusted it to the birthing hole of the xenomorph. He quickly shoved his giant predator alien cock into the xenomorph's holes, making sure to wear protection. After all, if he caused any anal rupturing of the xenomorph's waist hole, he would probably burn his cock. He kept thrusting inside, and inside the xenomorph. The xenomorph, now, instead of screaming, moaning. The predator just kept thrusting and thrusting inside, moaning as well as he felt the pleasure from the tight xenomorph puckering hole. Just then, though, the xenomorph, infatuated by the pleasure, drooled, and the acidic drool burnt through the bounds that the xenomorph was tied by. The xenomorph was free, but instead of escaping, the xenomorph just stood there, moaning in pleasure at the thrusts of the predator. The xenomorph then realized the danger it was in and quickly ran off, trying to find cover. The predator was alarmed by this escape, as he didn't see that the xenomorph broke through her bounds. But after all, the predator did want to have some fun before inevitably killing this xenomorph. He ran off to find it. The xenomorph had supple breasts and a puckering hole, but most importantly, what that mouth do? Just like the predator, the alien had an inset layered of jaws that were used to catch prey. But the predator, preoccupied with his thinking, needed to find the xenomorph and quickly turned on his heat sensors, easily finding the hot organism in the cold structure of the pyramid. He grabbed the xenomorph again. This time, instead of restraining with ties, he specifically restrained the xenomorph with his own bare hands. He kept fucking the xenomorph harder and harder. Xenomorph, this time, not feeling the amount of pleasure as it did before, as it was too busy thinking about its inevitable death. The predator kept pounding himself into the xenomorph protesting while trying to hold back moans. And finally, right at the predator's climax, he fucked the xenomorph so hard that with his hands he pulled out the xenomorph's skull and spine, not only climaxing and putting his seed inside a xenomorph, but at the same time simultaneously collecting the head as a trophy. This would be different, though. This trophy was special. As the other predators watched in glee, fascination, and horror, they all were horny by the sight, and instead of finding another xenomorph to fuck, they all went to the dead corpse of the xenomorph, and all the male Yuta decided to fuck the dead corpse of the xenomorph, also making sure to not get burnt by the bloody, acidic, destroying liquid that was the xenomorph's blood. Yes, the xenomorph's dead body was getting gangbanged by a bunch of predators. And that's how the story ends. The end.